Hello everyone. We all know that we have code of conduct and ethical business practices that we sign up for every time we work for a company. Companies of all sizes, starting from small businesses, mid-sized enterprises and multinationals, have very strong ethics clauses and code of conduct that we all have to sign up for. Yet, we see corruption, nepotism, and bribery in the business world all the time. So I just wanted to spend a few minutes talking about this, just to have an open dialogue, more specifically in the IT world. So in case you're wondering and saying, no, I haven't really heard about it, or you have a story to share, let's have that chat. A couple of years ago, there was a big scandal at this multinational global software services company, TCS. And this is known as the bribe-for-jobs scandal, where TCS, a whistleblower, announced that there was a widespread bribes for jobs scandal happening at the company, meaning a bunch of people were taking bribes to steer the jobs or certain positions towards certain headhunters. Now, the whistleblower alleged that the head of human resource group, the RGM, accepted bribes from staffing firms for hiring contract workers. Now, the TCS immediately jumped in. They did an internal investigation audit, and they confirmed that there were breaches in its code of conduct by some employees and vendors, and took immediate action. 16 employees were fired, and a bunch of them were laid off, and the head of human resources was sent on administrative leave. We didn't hear from him or the company after that, which means this scandal was so big that there was a lot of house cleaning to be done. Also came across a couple of instances. One was a few months back. There was an internal audit that flagged a conflict of interest. The e-commerce vendor was owned by the e-commerce director's husband. Now, this was a clear conflict of interest that was flagged during audit, and that audit triggered alarms right up to the C-level. And we scrambled and switched vendors and migrated services overnight. And it was a mess to do that instantly, because audit flagged it and we had to take action within weeks. Likewise, another previous company that I worked for, another example. Now, in that case, the head of IT got fired after the auditors discovered that his wife was a key partner in the firm that was building the new offshore data center. This was a multi-million-dollar deal that the company had received. The vendor was working closely with the company, but this was a clear conflict of interest because the bidding process was audited, the negotiations and the deals were reviewed, and it turned out that there was a kickback. So where there's smoke, there is fire. Or how does bribery work and what to really watch out for? The top level, the top brass, is known in many organizations to skim a small percentage from huge outsourcing deals. We frequently see announcements of multi-million dollar or even billion-dollar outsourcing deals with ISVs, service partners, and in these cases there is an element of kickback. And the kickback could be a percentage, a couple of percentages. It could be direct kickback, like for example, the spouse of one of the key executives may be hired as a key consultant and get quote-unquote consulting fees. Or there are other forms of kickbacks, like all expenses paid trip to Las Vegas or Hawaii, or retreats to certain so-called conferences that come along with the hampers and gift cards. Now, at the middle level, say the VP and the director level, vendors might steer the SOWs and contracts towards the so-called preferred vendors. And if you dig deeper, the preferred vendors could be brother-in-law's startup or a wife's cousin's startup. And there is a clear element of quid pro quo. Everybody is looking for a cut. And as long as it's manageable and the services are maintained, everybody looks the other way. Now, at the lower level, it starts with free conference passes, maybe airfare, and swag stuffed goodie bags that the vendor might give. And vendors frequently will have open bars or hackathon gift cards as a routine appreciation. Now, all this happens in the course of regular business and doesn't really raise eyebrows because it's a wink wink nudge nudge kind of a situation that we rarely ever talk about. It happens even though companies preach zero tolerance for ethics violations or the strong code of conduct. And as we get towards the end of the year after Thanksgiving, it's worth reflecting on this topic. So what's the wildest or most common corruption or quid pro quo that you have spotted? Do drop a note. Let's continue this dialogue.